Good evening. My name is Patrick Smith, and today I will be discussing marijuana. A lot of people use marijuana for municipal uses, but it's getting to the point where people don't know the risk of using marijuana. First of all, marijuana was originated in East Asia somewhere between 500 and 6,000 BC. It is a mixture of dried flowers and cannabis. It contains the mind-altering drug THC, which is what normally alters people's mind whenever they smoke marijuana. So, in the United States, it was brought here in 1492, which a lot of people believe, but honestly, we do not have the full facts on when it was brought to the United States. People use marijuana for chronic pain, muscle spasms, nausea, sleep disorder, and surprisingly, people use it for anorexia. It's supposed to be used to cure anorexia. A lot of people do research on marijuana to try to say that it is a herb, which it is. It was created from the earth, but they look over the fact that when overusing marijuana, over consuming marijuana, they look over the risk that it could cause and bring to their lives and to their systems. First of all, marijuana could affect your balance. It could affect your posture, coordination, and reaction time. It affects your brain. So whenever you use marijuana, think about it as disrupting some part of the brain, depending on how much of it you use. So try to keep down your uses of marijuana or anybody that you know so everyone can stay safe and stay in their right mindset. Also, marijuana has THC, which THC can increase or decrease the amount of dopamine, which is the body's helps the body reproductive system. Also, it can increase or it can cause paranoia. It causes people to see more lights brighter. It causes people to hear noises louder. So it alters your mind, like I said originally. Also, the British Medical Journal said that it is more likely for someone who uses marijuana within 3 hours to be in a car wreck than it is someone who doesn't use marijuana as well. So be sure to be responsible whenever using marijuana and try not to operate any motor vehicle. Also, reproductive issues. Marijuana can cause you to have issues with your reproductive system, obviously, which is with having a child. So be aware of how much marijuana you use, especially if you're using it recreatively. Also, immune response system. Marijuana has been shown that it could decrease your immune system, which could lead to you being more susceptible to having cancers or other infections. So be responsible. Continue to stay responsible with marijuana. Also, marijuana, you can have acute memory loss with using marijuana, which means it can be long-term memory loss. So you may know or have heard of someone who used marijuana to not be able to remember things as much. So be sure to be responsible as well. I can't say that enough. Also, it can reduce your brain functions. Users who use marijuana before the age of 15 do not score as good on tests as people who don't use marijuana. So be sure to not let your kids use marijuana unless it's for municipal uses. Any other uses, do not let your kids use marijuana. Something else that I touched earlier is reproductive system, but marijuana can get to your testicular. It can cause you to have testicular cancer for men, so be very careful with your consumption on using marijuana because everyone in some point of their life wants to have a kid. Also, one thing that's interesting, marijuana it could be addictive depending on how much you use it. Your body can start to depend on it. Your body can start to be more tolerant to it, which is not a good thing. The more tolerance your body comes to marijuana, the more you consume marijuana, which leads to more of these diseases and problems that cause effect on your body in the first place. So be sure to not use that much marijuana, especially if you don't need it. Also, be aware of certain marijuana, fake marijuana, synthetic marijuana, such as K2 and Spice, because they do have some of the same compounds that marijuana have in it, but these could be dangerous and they could be potentially fatal. So be sure to not use know what you're using, and make sure not to use any K2 or Spice. So, like I said, marijuana is a good municipal drug, but it can be addictive and it can be dangerous and it can be fatal depending on if you use the wrong one. So stay responsible and do the right thing and be responsible whenever using marijuana. Thank you.